guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a video for you of romances that I don't talk about enough on my channel that I want to recommend to you. Now, you will notice I am bundled up in a blanket right now. This is my Emposia blanket from Emposia. They sent this to me for free, and I'm obsessed with it, and it's been super cold lately, so all I wanted to do is snuggle up in my blankets and read all day, even though I have to go to work. But these are super nice, so they are Sherpa lined on the inside, and they have a hood, so they're super cool. And the reason I'm bundled up today is because I wanted to share with you that Emposia has a giveaway going on right now. And the giveaway takes place between the 12th and the 22nd of November, and there are 8 giveaways with 8 winners, and whoever wins can choose whatever a blanket they want that they have in stock. Mine is the Pets and Pros. If you want to take a look at it, I will go ahead and link down below my unboxing of it because I show like a full scale thing there about it. Just go ahead and click the link down below, go to their website, all the information's down below if you want a chance to win one of these. Their restock does start on November 23rd for those of you asking, but make sure that you enter for your chance to win one of these super adorable cozy blankets that I am obsessed with. And I'm gonna go ahead and get to my books that I needed to talk about. So the first book I have to talk about is one that I've seen Gabby from Gabby Reads talk about a lot, and that is The Butterfly Project by Emma Scott. The only reason I read this, I think, is because she read it, and I found it, I believe, at Half Price Books. So I did go ahead and pick this up, and this one is about a girl who went through a really tragic past, and she kind of gives that energy into her comic that she's creating, and I think she needs a roommate, and this guy was in jail, and he feels awful about what he did, and so I believe that they room together, and he helps her with her comic, and it's a romance. It's been a long time since I've read this, though, but it was really good, and I remember being super emotional, so you should pick this up. The next is actually a series, and I think this is really funny because Riley from Riley Marie actually did a video on Saturday about romances that are the least read that she loves, and this showed up in that video, and this was on my list to include in this video, and that is the Outlaw series by Elle Kennedy. We have Claimed, Addicted, and Ruled. These are post-apocalyptic romance books, and they take place pretty much after the world has been just like destroyed, and there are bad guys happening, and I believe like the society is all living in kind of like a bubble, and there's these group of outlaws who want to live outside of that society because they don't trust the government, obviously, and so they all live by themselves as outlaws, and it's a trilogy, and it's so good, very steamy, but I love these books so much, and I would recommend picking these up. The next one, I'm having such a hard time remembering what it's about because I read it so long ago, but I loved it, and that's The Hard Count by Ginger Scott. All I remember is that he's a football player, and I remember almost crying. And that's all I remember. I can't tell you anything about the plot. I think it was like over 2 years ago that I read this book. I saw her and met her. This came out in 2016, and I got to meet her, I think, a year and a half ago when I read this book, but I recommend it if you like sports romances, and they are in high school though, so this is more YA, but it's older YA, but it's really good. And then we have The Last Letter by Rebecca Garros. This one I talked about a lot when it came out because I loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I cried in this book, but I feel like I haven't talked about it since then, and this is a military romance, and our main character, her brother is in the military, and she writes to his best friend because she thinks his best friend needs just a friend, and so she writes to him and kind of falls for him, and then her brother ends up passing away, and he sends his best friend, who she's been writing to, home to take care of her, and that was like his last wish in his last letter. And she is obviously just destroyed over the fact that her brother's died, and she is running this inn of like cabins. She has twins, I believe, or she has 2 kids, but she doesn't have a husband because that was bad, and she lets her brother's best friend stay with her, but she doesn't know that he's the one that she was writing letters to. So this is super emotional military romance. If that is not something you can read, stay away from this, but if you like that kind of romance, definitely pick this up. Then another series I haven't talked about in a while is the Needyou series by Lorelei James. There's, I think, 4 books in here, and I've read 2. I haven't read the newest one. I didn't read the first one because I started at book 2. But these are all sports romances, so this one's football. I believe at least one of them's a hockey romance, and they're just fun adult romances that I don't see anybody talking about. I did get them because Berkeley sent them to me, but I devour them, and so I would recommend picking this up. Next is Sweet Addiction by J. Daniels. This one is about a girl who goes to a wedding, and she runs into a guy, and it was like a funny interaction. I don't remember what it was, but then they end up still like hanging around each other. She owns a cupcake shop, and he is a businessman, and I remember something really funny happening about how they met, and I don't remember what it is. And that's good though, so I don't spoil it for you, but this is a really fun, really short romance by J. Daniels. It's a trilogy that I haven't read the other 2 yet, but I really enjoyed this one. Then we have Ink and Lies by S.L. Jennings. I read this because Carol from the Reading Wallflower, who she has not posted a video in like over a year, I miss her dearly. She loves this book, and it is a secret male romance author. So he writes romances under a pen name, and he has his best friend who he's never really felt feelings for, and then he started to feel feelings for her, but she started dating someone finally, and so I think that really triggered it, kind of like Maid of Honor. And it's their romance, and it's super funny. I still remember scenes in here. I remember telling my sister to read it and talking about them with her. Laugh out loud funny. You have to pick this up, especially if you like books about writers. And the last book I have is Bad Romeo by Lissa Raven. This one I haven't talked about because I read it like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I read this when I was in college, so I've been out of college for over 4 years. So it's been a long time since I read this book, and it's a trilogy, I think, but I haven't read any other books in this series because I need to reread this one. And they are in the performing arts, and I believe they go to school together, and it flashes back between the past and the present, the past of when they met and had to perform together, even though the guy kind of like hates her guts, and they have intense chemistry though on stage, and then the present where they've already been together and broke up for some reason. So I loved this book. I devoured it. Such a good new adult read, and I need to reread it so I can continue on the series, but definitely recommend this if you haven't gotten to. You probably have because it's super old. Like, the hype is definitely past for this book. It came out in 2014. My copy's so old that it's got like sun damage on the top because I've had it for so long, and I think I brought it to Myrtle Beach when I was going there, and I remember reading it on the beach, but it's really good, and you should check it out. And those are some romances that I have not talked about enough on my channel. Let me know down below, or if there are any romances you feel like no one talks about enough and that I should read. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.